Cantina Cast Patreon content.
Hello, Jonesy. How is everybody doing tonight? Are we live?
Take two. Yeah.
We're live. Hey, welcome, Patreon members. Funny thing happened just before we started the show. I ran the intro and came in and said, hello, Patreon members. And Jonesy said, hey, dude, you forgot to hit the live button. So this is take two. Well, so we're glad you're here. We're glad we're here. Jonesy, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a while since we've done a Tatooine Trading Post together, and I'm actually kind of excited about this because I've actually accumulated things over time and probably got a couple of episodes worth of stuff, but I'm really excited. Like, I haven't shared anything since my birthday, which was almost a month ago. So that's how long I think it's been since we've had a proper Tatooine Trading Post. Just other priorities came up, and then being out. So I'm kind of excited to revisit a few things here.
Well, I'll let you get started then. You can kick us off for what do you got first?
Yeah, so I teased this actually the last time I thought we were going to have a Tatooine Trading Post, and then we didn't have the actual episode. So I love puzzles. Right, and I know these aren't necessarily super. Actually, you can probably see the picture.
I've seen. So, is this like a new collection that they've just come out with? This fine art collection thing?
So they've had these for a number of years, and they just changed them out over time. And so this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, this is older Ben from A New Hope. He's got some stormtroopers laying around him. Again, 1,000-piece puzzle, which is kind of my sweet spot. I love if I'm doing it by myself. I'll maybe do a 500, 1,000 if I want to do something a little bit longer, a little more challenging, I guess. But I like that kind of sweet spot because you actually feel like you can accomplish it in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
Oops, as I drop it. But anyway, but I just like them. They're kind of exciting. And actually, our friend Vader's girl, Kara, has her own puzzle channel, and I go and watch that sometimes. She just does puzzles, and a lot of them are Star Wars puzzles. So it's cool kind of being able to, show her every once in a while, hey, I got this puzzle. I used to take pictures and send them to her, like when I was at Target or whatever, and they did lots of puzzles. I just love, there's so many of them out there now. But the fine art collection are just always so well done. There's so many Ralph McQuarrie ones in there. And, of course, New Waters, they're bringing in all the time. I just find them to be just relaxing. I get obsessed over them, which is part of the problem. Like, I'm going to stop this thing, and about 3 or 4 hours later, and it's 4 in the morning, I'm still doing this freaking puzzle.
Wow,
so
really?
I get really obsessed over them sometimes. So I have a hard time stopping some of those types of things. So, but they're a lot of fun. So I wanted to share that with y'all because I think they're super enjoyable. I have not taken it out of the bag. It's been sitting in here in the room here the entire time in this box waiting to be shown on air. So now I can actually take it to the island and set it up and start doing this properly.
Yeah, that's great. No, I envy people that can do puzzles because it's just not. I mean, I've tried, but I made a horrible mistake, and I have the puzzle. Maybe I'll bring it out someday. But I thought, you know what? Everybody's doing puzzles. I want to be a puzzle guy. So I go out and buy, of course, a Star Wars puzzle. And I have no idea what I'm doing. And I bought I don't know, it must have been like 5,000 pieces.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, I had no idea. It was like 5, and I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but it was a lot. And it was one of these.
Even at 2,000, it gets pretty intense, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And it was one of the puzzles that you could flip because I was like, oh, this is like a 2-in-1 kind of thing. Well, it was also one of those puzzles that was made up of other little images. You know what I mean? Like, what do they call those? Pictographs or whatever that is. It was impossible. Like I couldn't even get the border going. And that's like the easy part, right? Is like matching that up. I could not. I gave up. I threw in the towel. That puzzle was $20. I'll never get back. It has sat in that box now for probably the better part of 15 years. And I don't know why I've kept it. Like, I don't even know that I'm ever going to go back. You know what it was? It was one of the promotional pictures when Star Wars came out in 1977, that infamous shot of Han and Chewie. You know what I'm saying? Where they're both standing there. They kind of look like they're ready to attack. It was that image. Yep. But it was it was made up of all these tiny little scenes from Star Wars.
Those are so cool when they're put together, but they are so hard to do because you can't tell the colors. Like, you can't actually tell the color palette that you're trying to put together.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly right. Like, I had no idea where I even was with the puzzle. In retrospect, I probably should have started with like 50 pieces right? A floor puzzle of some sort rather than going big.
The children boxes, like the
Yep.
wood puzzles at this point.
Yep, exactly. You know, the ones with little grips on them so I can just kind of, put them in their spots. But yeah, it just was a
One
bad
of the coolest
experience.
puzzles I ever put together, though, was several years ago. We had bought this plastic puzzle. It was a Disney puzzle, like Disney stained glass. It was plastic though, and so the pieces they weren't transparent or translucent, but they had a certain translucence to them, and that click that they made when you snapped it together was so satisfying.
Satisfying, yeah.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, it was a challenging puzzle. I think it was. I can't remember if it was 1,000 or 2,000, but it was pretty out there. But it was a really cool puzzle. But that click was just so satisfying when it came in. So it was very ASMR type of thing.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, I've got so I tend to spend a lot of time on Mercari and Facebook Marketplace, buying all kinds of random things that I can get for good deals. It's just like my futuristic present day yard sale shopping. I don't do thrifting, but I will spend all kinds of time trolling those two particular sites. And I just happened to be looking through Facebook Marketplace, I think it was last weekend, and I saw these two pictures, like these paintings that somebody was selling for $50, and they were spray paint paintings of Star Wars. And I thought, oh, they look kind of cool. But I was like, I really don't want to pay $50. Where am I going to put them up? So I just clicked on save, right? And then I came back the next day and it said free, just come pick them up. So I type in the address. This person lives like 10 minutes away from my house.
Oh, wow.
So I pinged them. I'm like, hey, I want these. And I felt bad too, because I was like, do I give him money? Because he was just selling them yesterday. I look like a freaking stalker because I saved it. And, here I am now. I'm just like a vulture going after it because it's free.
It's like
but
a
he was pretty
humble bundle of sorts all of a sudden.
right, exactly. But he was very cool about it. And so these are the ones I picked these up for free. Look, no cost to me. He said the guy, cool. I don't know who the artist is. He's not the artist. He made that very clear. He said he picked them up in Mexico City, and this guy had made like 50 of these things. And so the other one that I got has a number on it. So it says 40 or 50 on the second one, but this is just a Stormtrooper, again, done with spray paint. It's one of those, like, if you've ever seen the street vendors that do this stuff, it's amazing what they do, right?
That is so cool. And this is actually on like a canvas?
It's like a canvas, and you can't really see it, but the canvas is just like it looks like it used to be a curtain of some sort. I don't know if you can see the detail there, but you see that here, this pattern? That's like a curtain.
Wow, okay.
It's like a floral print almost. So, yeah, it's like a repurposed, cloth material that he just stretched over, this piece of wood or whatever, the frame, to make that one. And then the other one, which was probably the better one, I think, of the two, but just because it's, Boba Fett.
How cool is that? Yeah, Boba Fett.
And you can kind of see here, where's that right there? So there's the 40 of the 50 that were made on this one. So it didn't cost me a penny. Cost me probably about, 40 cents in gas to get out there and back. But yeah, 2015 is the date on the back too. So I don't know who the artist is, unfortunately.
Man. Yeah. Those are so neat.
Especially since they were free.
I mean, that's what I love about. We've talked about the Star Wars drifting Instagram channel, of course, and it's just the yard sales type of thing. They go out and find these things, and you just. I even saw someone on, it was either Twitter or Instagram or somebody else. They down the road from them, there was a yard sale going on, and they just found like the coolest. I think that was the Star Wars trilogy, like one of the books or something, like one of the fold out like picture story type books or something like that. It was just this really cool thing that. Otherwise, you would have gone and spent like $100, $150 for. Yeah. And it was like, $5 or $10. And it was in good shape too. Maybe not the perfect shape, but it was in really good shape. So it's just really cool because, let's just be honest, it's too hot to go to yard sales now. I got up to 100 today down here. So no thank you. But,
yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, but those are a lot of fun, man. I like that. That Boba Fett one's really cool. But I like even the Stormtrooper one you had. It was very reminiscent of Rebels too. So that'd be a great one for like a Rebels fan to get.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. The design of it certainly fits that.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one's kind of a twofer, and this is I haven't sent these yet. So I actually got you and Lauren something when I was at Joliet Star Wars Day, and so I thought I would share it on our Tatooine Trading Post here. So I apologize, I'm going to show your stuff rather than you, but I met John Jackson Miller, who of course is the author of Star Wars Kenobi,
and other
other fine works, of course, yes. But I was able to, for our friends Albert and Lauren here, to actually get them a signed copy. So
yeah, it says to Albert, Star Wars Kenobi, John Jackson Miller, and he signed it there.
Yeah, so I got that's Albert's, and then of course I got one here for Lauren as well, because I can't leave our girl out, especially with the book stuff. So
yeah. Oh, she gets a bookmark? Okay, I see how it is.
No, yours is there. No, you got one too. I just took it out.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
I left it in there. It's a John Jackson Miller actual book.
Oh,
Bookmark
is it
too.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's got his name right on the front there and all the other stuff he's done.
Yeah. If the autofocus would work. But anyway, I just thought they were super fun. I wanted to get you guys something special, you know, what I was doing out there. And I know you've enjoyed these types of things, and I think Lauren would too. So,
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
just
awesome, man.
wanted
Thank
to-
you. I know I already said thank you already, but thank you again for doing that. It's very sweet and very generous of you.
That's
so.
why I put it on Tatooine Trading Post, because I want to hear it publicly and make sure everybody
I
else
know.
hears it too.
Yep.
I just need
It's-
that accolade, that I need that affirmation
recognition.
that I did good. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thanks,
It's in the
Dad.
annals of the Cantina Cast forever.
Not to be mispronounced of anything else.
Yeah. All right. Here's my. Okay. So this next thing that I have it's brand new. I have been waiting forever for this thing to come back in stock. I'm freaking excited about it. It's cooler in person than it looked online, and I've had my eye on this for some time. It's from Heroes and Villains, and it is the Jedi Order backpack. I don't know. I can't even like hold this up in the frame. It's so large. Check this thing out.
Wow. How cool is
It's
that?
massive, right? And it's even got like it's got this netting down here for stuff. Like if you go out to the website, it shows it like with everything in it and how much space it has and stuff. And they made it look like it's a Jedi. I think they've got like a knapsack or something down here in the cargo netting of itself.
Right.
But the really cool thing is it's got this piece on the side here for your lightsaber. So your lightsaber goes in here, and if you go out there, it shows like a metallic lightsaber that they put in here as well. So I haven't had a chance to kind of go through and look at all the pockets, and there's all kinds of stuff in here. But on the back, it's all made of canvas, leather and canvas. It's got this huge, I think I have that upside down, don't I?
Yeah.
So it's got this big logo thing on the back, and this is where I was trying to translate this before we came online, and I think I translated it to "balance is the galaxy," but Jonesy said that sounded like broken English. So I may have translated it incorrectly, but I don't think I did. So I don't know exactly what that means. At the bottom, it says Jedi Order, and of course, it's got like the Jedi Order logo here with the lightsaber here in the middle as well.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's so cool. The other thing it does too is it's got this strap here. Like if you unzip this,
I was about to say, I like that this is like it almost looks like a backpack, but it's also like a messenger bag.
right? So it's got a handle here, so like you can kind of hold it on the side if you want, and it's got a lot of room in the inside. But it does have this panel here that I'm opening up now. That's got the Jedi logo and the Aurebesh in it. That actually unzips, and that's what exposes the shoulder straps, so that you can wear it as a backpack. So,
Oh, good.
I don't
So
want to make too much noise.
You can
but-
actually store them. That's nice. Oh, wow. It's printed on the inside of the.
Yeah, that
of the flap,
same
too.
balances the galaxy is printed on the inside of the flap. And so this rolls up like this, and then you kind of clip it. You got a clip here somewhere. It clips around this way. And then that gives you your shoulder straps.
Oh, wow.
wear.
I like that.
Yeah. Very, very large backpack as well.
I got to ask how much, because Heroes and Villains isn't cheap. I'm actually wearing Heroes and Villains shorts right now, and they all seem to be a bit of a premium product. How much did that cost?
Yeah, this was $150.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all like quality stuff. Like there's nothing cheap on this. Even like the metal itself, it's solid steel. It doesn't feel like, cheap aluminum or, bending, anything that would really bend. It's all very sturdy. So I recommend it. I mean, I know it's a pricier backpack, but I'm thinking like going to Celebration or Star Wars things. This is like the backpack that I'm going to use to pack everything in because, why not? I mean, go in or go big or go home if you're going to be a
Right,
nerd.
yeah.
So might as well.
Exactly. No, that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I finally, and like you, it's been sitting here and I'm like, I can't take the tags off. I can't do anything with it because we haven't done a show yet. I really want to open it up and like start putting everything in there, So finally
Right.
get this out of the way.
There you go. Okay, next one over to my left. You're right, I guess. I actually bought, again, at Joliet Star Wars Day. I never do this, but I always look at this stuff. So I actually bought 3 custom minifigs. So these are like Lego minifigs.
Oh,
So they're-
really? Yeah.
So they're actual Lego, but they're just repainted into a few things. And so here, this one's out of the box and everything, but it's basically a 501st sniper. But
Yeah, he's got the
paint,
sniper rifle there.
yeah, custom paint job, has a little comma and everything else. So I just thought it was really cool. And these were like super cheap. It was like $5. But the 2 that were really, really neat and they came with these little base bar card kind of holders. But
Oh, wow. Yeah.
this is Barris Offee, but he actually printed a little. And I know the autofocus is not going to cooperate here with glare.
You can kind of see it there. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, maybe spotlight me real quick.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You would Let me see how to do that again. Solo layout. Here we go.
Yeah, there we go. So anyway, so it's Bear Safi, and it's got like a special card back that has a little medallion on it and pictures. So it's kind of really well done. It's just really fun to have it just all kind of secured in there. So it has like a nice little presentation. And again, the paint job of the Maryland face and everything else was really nice. So I really thought that was fun. And then this one I just could not pass up was a tri-logo card back, but for Captain Hauser. And so,
Wow.
yeah, I don't think they've done I can't remember if they've actually done an official Hauser. They might have finally done one for a Lego minifig, but a little tri-logo, Return of the Jedi type of logo. And just thought that was really cool. So I just thought it was fun and I liked them. And these were like $8 a piece or something like that. But I love supporting, kind of local people, and I love unique ideas and just fun ideas. And I thought about the show instantly. I was like, oh, I've got to have something unique to bring back with me that's just fun. They'll sit on the shelf or whatever, but a lot of fun. And what's more fun than Lego, especially the custom minifigs. So just really cool things I get a kick out of.
Does it say Power of the Force? It looked like the Power of the Force figures, and not the ones that came out in the 90s, but the original ones that came out in 84 with the medallion and all that. What does it say on there?
Yeah, it says Power of the Force. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a throwback to the
Yeah, and it's got so it says Star Wars Power of the Force, and then it has it in French. Oh no, that's Spanish. No, that's French actually. Yeah, so it's in French, and it's a special collector's coin.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they actually kept that authentic too, because when those toys came out in 84, they were kind of done trying to create individual packaging for all of the different regions, and so they just slammed every language on those by that point.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I like the throwback there on the little card stock or the cards that they kind of did.
Yeah, they had a few other ones too, but these are the two that popped out to me, and I couldn't not get Captain Hauser. I was really stoked about that one.
Yeah, it's crazy how much minifigs go for. Like it's its own little industry, right?
It is. So so that was one table, and then there was an actual minifig company that showed up that sells Lego products, like actual official ones, and everything that they had displayed started at like $40.
Right.
For a single minifig. And some of these were not worth that. And so the markup at like conventions and things like that, I just have a really hard time doing it. They had some really good stuff and really cool stuff, and it was in great shape. But man, it's just not, you can find better deals elsewhere, unfortunately, and they capitalize a little bit on the excitement. And I get it if people will do it, and they had a line. So clearly they were offering something that people wanted, but at that price point, I'm just a little bit smarter with my money. I don't get caught up in the emotion of some of that stuff. And they have a brick and mortar there too in the Joliet area, so it's not too far away. So it was a little surprising that they were still garnering that much attention. But
yeah, those the minifigs, I see them on Macari a lot, and I actually have thought about purchasing some of those, even at the higher price points, because it's like they did a few KOTOR sets. I know you got one. I think you have one of them, don't you? Somewhere, a couple of them, if not.
Right behind me, actually.
Yeah. But, those minifig, you can't get those anymore. And so they released like a Bastilla Shan. I think there's a Malgus that came out. There's a Darth Malak that came out. They've got the troopers from that era as well. Yep, you're showing the troopers right now, as a matter of fact. The Sith as well. The Sith troopers are in there. So some of those are, I can say probably each one of those minifigs right now are probably like $15 a piece, honestly.
That's why I bought 2 sets of this when I bought it.
Yeah. But like the Bastilla Shan one, I mean, I can't even find that one for anything less than like $60, $70 if it's authentic and complete with a lightsaber and all, a double lightsaber.
Right.
So I've considered that. Now, at the same time, they do sell. There are like companies that make the replicas of them, and those only run like $8 or $10 or whatever it is, and that includes shipping. So I've thought about just buying some of those just to have it, but there's something to be said about having like the official one. Of course, again, $50, $60 at least. So
yeah, that's the crazy part. And again, some people are really good at repainting and taking an official Lego minifig and just painting it into something that you want. And usually that's what they do. They don't do the knockoff stuff. So you're getting a genuine Lego product. It's just not the official paint job. But often I like what they do with it. So to me, it's kind of sometimes it's worth it, especially if you just kind of want it to have it and you're not really in that super collecting space of that type of thing. It's not, I mean, like you don't really collect pins or what's the other thing you don't collect? Funko Pops.
Pop.
You don't really collect those things. So for you, it'd be similar to that, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's a dangerous game. So be careful. If you ever consider collecting Lego or Lego minifigs, It is a dangerous, slippery slope, expensive game. So make sure you know that going in. This is your only warning.
Right. Oh, crap. I've been saying Lego. Sorry. I can't. That's a hard habit to break. You corrected me on that
saying
one.
Legos instead of Lego.
Yeah. And Utini's going to like rake me over the coals for that one because I know he made it very clear that it's Lego and not Legos. But hey, man, can't change my stripes. So I've got, okay, I got two more things here because I think we're doing pretty good on time. So this is nothing I bought new, but when I was cleaning out a box the other day of stuff, I just happened to come across this and I forgot I actually even had this. So I don't know if you remember this, and there's a story behind it. Do you remember the Bendhams from 1993? Yeah, so this is an original one. It's not in the best shape at all. Like it's got all this like these scuff marks down here and everything.
I don't
but
remember
I've never,
Princess Leia one though. Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, and this was at the time. I want to say it was pretty rare. Like this is one of the ones they didn't make a whole lot of, and that's usually the case for these types of things. You can see the back here, right? I think there's Stormtrooper, C-3PO, R2-D2. They had a Vader, Luke,
Yoda, Chewbacca.
Yeah, and I think the Yoda ended up being the rarest of all of them, if I remember correctly. I could have that wrong, but the significant thing was because it wasn't a very good model. I mean,
oh no, I mean the Bendhams are usually pretty light on detail,
right?
Yeah.
But they sold so many of these back in '93, and the reason why was because this was the first toy that we had gotten since 1984. Like after the Power of the Force ran out, I think they were planning on doing like a Power of the Force 2 that never made it out, right? There's a whole story on that. But we went into the dark ages or the dark times of Star Wars collecting where we didn't have anything. And this was the first thing that actually came out back in 92 technically is when they were first announced. I think you had to pick these up, if I remember correctly. You had to order them through like Diamond Select, like comic book stores had these, right? They weren't even being carried in stores. It was kind of one of those exclusive things that you'd order. And it was Topps, if you can see there. Topps had the licensee for it.
Yeah,
so,
because the artwork on the back of the card is very much Star Wars Galaxy.
Yeah, you can see there, Star Wars Galaxy there. So I think the cards were out at the time. We were just getting back into Star Wars was cool to collect again, and things were coming out. The Zahn series had just come out. This was the first toy that came out. And so naturally I went out and was like, holy crap, there's Star Wars on the shelves again. I'll go ahead and pick it up, even though I've never opened it, probably never will, never play with this thing. But there's just something nostalgic about having, this particular toy. So yeah, it's like a Gumby figure. Dale's asking, is it like a Star Wars realistic Gumby figure? It's pretty much what it is. It's got a wire in the middle of it, and if you bend it too much, that wire starts to stick out of the plastic. I mean, they're about as cheap as you can get. And at the time, I remember like when these first came out, there was such a feverish market for them. And I was just looking online before I showed this, and now it's like, $10 or something. And I think I probably paid, $5. So yeah, not didn't hold its value very well, but still has its place in Star Wars history as kind of that first toy that we got again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do one more since you've got one more too. And this is kind of a shout out to our buddy Greg over at Rebel Base Card Podcast. So when we were at Jolie at Star Wars Day, he gave me his own little swag pack. And if you remember these from Celebration,
oh yeah, I still have the one he gave before.
Yeah, so he has the latest one, which is kind of cool. And again, what's fun is he actually made one of our interview, I believe, and he sent me one. But basically, he will take, pictures of the people that he comes across, and he makes a kind of a Star Wars card. It has his podcast name over here on the bottom and a little description. So his newest phase is going to have an orange card back, and it actually has me in there, which is kind of cool. So he sent me like a digital proof. But anyway, so this is just some of the ones that he had sent. These were from a couple of years ago. Yeah. So and again, I think he had done one with us before as well. But then he also sneaks in a couple of really cool things here. Old Return of the Jedi cards, because this is the 40th anniversary, of course.
Yeah,
so I've got Han at the rescue trying to get Lando out. Luke and Leia swing into safety, and then Obi-Wan dropping some certain point of view knowledge on Luke there.
Yep.
And then Greg, being the awesome person that he is, was like, well, the history of Jolie at Star Wars Day type of thing was that the old Star Wars Galaxy card, they used to allow them to do Joliet Star Wars Day cards, like actual certified cards in Lucasfilm, like actually that's copyrighted. And they have the little Star Wars Day branding on the bottom corner here, a little Vader helmet with SWD. And so Mikey Babinski, who was an artist at the time, did these cards. So I've got duplicates in here, but he
Oh, for
That
Star
is,
Wars Day exclusively?
yeah. So these, I'll show you the back here in a second. But so
Yeah.
I got Yoda, and then I've got Han and Chewie, and again, these are artist kind of cards, and they're autographed on the back. And then we've got R2 and 3PO here.
Yeah, those are great.
And then if you look on the back, like Mikey Babensky there, who did Star Wars cards officially for a long time. And you can see Star Wars Day, Joliet Public Library, and then there's some that are June 2016, June 2017, June 2018. And the interesting thing about these is that Lucasfilm actually asked them to stop doing this because they weren't,
Licensed.
well, they were licensed, but then they got uncomfortable with it for some reason, and so whatever that might be. So they don't make these anymore. But he had a couple of these sets, although I don't think these are complete sets. But I just thought it was really cool. And again, little collectibles. I don't know what I would do with some of this. I don't know if I would collect baseball cards or anything like that. But it was just so cool to get a little bit of vintage type of cards with the Return of the Jedi, or vintage style cards, really. And then some of these that are actually autographed by Mike Babensky. And he was actually there too, selling some other proofs and things like that, which I always find are really cool when they're hand drawn. They're not just prints. They're actually like proof, type of things, which I just think are really fun. So, but thought I'd share that with y'all too. Those are a lot of fun to do. And it's really cool that Greg kind of commemorates his interactions with people into a card and kind of makes a card set. And he even has a little checklist card back in the back, like you would have in the old,
really?
in the old bubblegum packs. Yeah, here we go. So it's a full set every time. But it has
That's cool. Yeah.
little rundown of what they all are, and then you have a little, barcode or a QR code in the back. This is the way. So it's just a lot of fun. And he does such a great job with it. So he's a great guy. So it's a lot of fun to be able to support him and kind of tout what he's doing there. So thanks to Greg for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's so different. It's so unique. Like, you go to conventions and you get the typical buttons and the stickers, right? But no one's handing out custom trading cards.
And it actually feels like a wax pack, right? I mean, so you really get that nostalgic kind of feel to it. Yeah, I mean, he just tapes the back of it, so it's not sealed and it doesn't have bubble gum in there. But he slips in, I dropped on the floor, but he slips in a little Rebel Base Card podcast sticker as well, which is, again, a throwback to the old baseball cards we had. There was always a sticker card or something like that in there. Mm-hmm. And it's just really cool. He just kind of goes all in. That's what his show is a very unique, for lack of a better word, like niche show. It's a very specific thing. But, man, they do such a great job with it. And it fills a need that no one else is doing. So it's really cool to be able to do that. And I know I used to do the Star Wars card trading Star Wars card trading app that Topps does. That's a total money sink as well, but it's a lot of fun to be able to do that. We were talking, they've done a lot more with the Star Wars Galaxy cards. They brought those back out, the Digital Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
Which is some of my favorite sets, like Adam Kaufman's art and stuff like that. Is just so good. And it's just some of my favorite artwork on cards. So I kind of miss it in that regard, but it was just I would just spend way too much money on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Your wallet is pretty much like hijacked at that point. So
exactly.
Or ransom for ransom. Okay. So the last thing I have is my redemption story. So to summarize the story, if you didn't hear, I had ordered the Star Wars Bastillachon like Diamond Select toy. It got shipped to my old address where I lived. The lady there did not give it back to me. She called the cops on me because I was knocking on the door and said I was trespassing. And it was just a big fiasco that day. And I left my number and said, hey, if I'm sorry for all the inconvenience. I said, here's my phone number. She claimed that it was never there, even though I had a picture that showed that FedEx had delivered it. And I thought, well, maybe she'll call me and be a good-hearted person. And she never did. So jerk face. But so that day I went home all, dejected and thought I was never going to get this stinking toy that I'd ordered like 2 years ago. And just so happens there was a company that I think was Atomic Collecting, I believe. I probably should give them props. I don't know I don't have the card right now in front of me, but I went ahead and reordered it. So, excuse me, without further ado. So this is what I had ordered. So this is the Bastillachon. Oh, let me show the back because there's a big glare on this thing. You can kind of
see it better, yeah.
Yeah, so you can kind of see it there, but this is the, it's made from like, I guess PVC, so it's not metal. I mean, this thing weighs nothing, so it's not like a full metal kind of thing. It wasn't too expensive. I think I paid like maybe $60 or $70. Again, sorry about the glare there. But yeah, I mean, I was really excited. And that, thanks to, we've already mentioned Vader's Girl. She was the one that actually let me know that this was going up for sale when it went out, again, about 2 years ago. And it was one of those things where I had ordered it and it sat just in limbo. Like they hadn't produced it yet. And I guess they were waiting for, I don't know what it was. It wasn't like a COVID thing. It was post-COVID. But I had just completely forgot. Like I had totally forgot that I had bought it, paid for it. and had the old address on there, which is what got me into that problem. So I finally got it in. I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I'm a huge Bacillus Sean fan. The whole Sean family are just great people, honestly, if you ever get a chance to meet them.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to open that, and I'll probably stick it where it was. It was kind of back here on the last show, out of sight, but I'll probably stick it back there. So, the good guys always win in the end. So
that's right.
Yeah, I got my toy back. Now, of course, I paid double for this, basically at this point because I had to order a second one, but I had to have it. So I'm just happy that I got it. I didn't even care about the money. And I really wouldn't made a big stink about it by going over there, to look for it. But, it wasn't like a $20 thing. And
yeah,
it felt like it, somebody would do a good deed and be like, oh, yeah, sorry, it got delivered here. Let me give it back to you instead of just taking it and sticking it out on eBay to make money for herself. Jerk.
Yeah, that's pretty crummy. But I'm glad you got that figured out because I'm glad it wasn't super expensive. It wasn't like one of these $200 or $300 items that you have a hard time getting. If you don't pre-order it, you don't get it. Right. And so it's really cool that this was able to go out on the market. So we were talking about it. I'm like, I think this is something you could probably go back out and find. And I'm glad you got it for a really good price too. I mean, that's still really solid and I think competitive, basically suggested retail value. So that's a really good thing you were able to get that for. So I'm glad that worked out although I got to be honest with you, it was a very comedic set of circumstances. And what's even better is Albert's calling me, giving his wife a hard time, saying that he's getting arrested and everything else, and didn't call her back, but is telling me this whole story. And so I made sure, I was like, hey, make sure you tell your wife that you told me you were okay first before.
Yeah. I had actually called her and told her that I had called her and was like, hey, I don't know how to tell you, but they just called the cops. She knew I was already over there. And I told her that they had called the cops, which was true. They did call the cops.
You actually took a picture for her, too.
Yeah, I took a picture of the cops pulling up and everything. They sent 2 patrol cars out there. And then I had the last message, I just told her, I left a voicemail. I was like, hey, I don't even know how to tell you this, but I'm being taken down to the station. She called the cops. They're arresting me for trespassing. And I guess I'll call you when I get there. And I just hung up. And so she was really upset. It was a great prank, and I've learned my lesson never to do that again, but it was totally worth it at the time. So
hey, you get one of those. So
and
I used it.
Right.
So as long as it was worth it, then that is good. Your wife's such a good sport, though. She kind of knows to expect some of that, but I imagine she was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, living with me is not fun. So, but yeah, it was good. I mean, it had a happy ending there at the very end. So yes, and Dale says, now I get it, Mr. Sean. So that's where the name came from. Cool. All right. Well, I think I've got more things on order as we speak. Like literally, I saw something that I'd ordered recently coming in the mail. Maybe 2 things. I think one is Star Wars related, one's not. So we look like we'll have at least something here for next week as well on Tatooine Trading Post. But was that your last one? Sorry. Was that the last one?
Yeah, I've got other stuff, but it can kind of wait. Like I've got the Star Wars deck building game, which I was going to show.
Oh yeah,
I might actually do like a little dedicated video of that one, just a quick little rundown of the game, just something short, just to give some just some sharing of that. Hey, while we're here, as my monitor decides to turn off on me again, programming notes for Friday. Friday's Father's Day. Are we doing a show on Friday? on
Sunday.
Rather? Yeah.
Oh, hadn't thought about that. Let's see. Probably not. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. So the next show we do will be Spotlight and the Way Station. So I don't know if maybe we can squeeze it in on Saturday night. We can talk about off air, but we have a show coming. We'll be doing both of them at some point. If it's not Saturday, then it'll probably be Monday or Tuesday or somewhere on there. But yeah, good call on that one. I think Monday's a holiday too, isn't it? I think it's Juneteenth.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not much. I thought you were talking about last week was Independence Day in Manila in the Philippines. So I know everybody else's holidays like in the East and everywhere else and in India better than I know our own. So I have no idea.
Yeah. So maybe Monday will be a good day to do it because I don't think I got any commitments in. But we'll figure that out offline. But thanks for bringing that up because I think the last show I mentioned that we would probably be coming back to do the show on Sunday night, but it's Father's Day. So, hey, if we don't get a chance to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers or even fathers in quotes or however you want to say it for anybody else that's a parent, Happy Father's Day.
Yep, Happy Father's Day, everyone. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, don't be a Star Wars dad. That's all. That's the only advice I have because they're terrible. Not a good one.
What does that even mean? Oh, you mean like a dad in Star Wars?
Yes.
Mostly horrible.
Yeah. Bunch of jerks in there. I mean, there are a couple good ones, but not a very good set of role models there.
We can't all be Cyril Karn's mom.
Yeah, or Cyril Karn's parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what his dad's like. All right, that's enough. Okay, I'll end the show. I got credits coming up. We'll have them updated again here very soon. Thanks, guys, for. Do you want to do shout outs just quickly? I know we had a few people that joined us tonight.
Yeah, thanks to Music Dale. I just married y'all off. Sorry about that. Music Train and Dale, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it, guys.
Yes, thanks, guys, for the support. And we will see you guys here very soon.
You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.